check out our whole video, hit the link on the bottom of the screen. That video is available exclusively on odds.com. Move on to the 425 spot. 3 games left on the card. Chiefs at Buccaneers. Kansas City opens up at -3. That quickly moves to 3.5. This total opens up at 53, and that quickly moves to 56. Chiefs 9-1, 5-0 on the road. Bucks 7-4, 3-2 at home. Chiefs coming off a 35-31 win at Las Vegas. Mahomes 34 for 45, 348 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was 14-69 for 2 touchdowns. Le'Veon Bell 7 for 25 for 1 touchdown. Travis Kelce caught 8 passes for 127 yards. Tyreek Hill caught 11 passes for 102 yards. And when I watched them work, I was like, I've never seen the Chiefs really with only 2 weapons on through the air, and I was like, can't you come up with a defense if you know it's either going to Kelce or Tyreek Hill to slow them down? And Kelce might be so physically tough to stop, but with just 2 guys, I was like, man, I was shocked at watching this. Demarcus Robinson did catch 6 passes for 44 yards as a third option. Sammy Watkins was out again. McCole Hardman spent most of the week on the COVID-19 list. He was 1 catch for 16 yards. The defensive line could do nothing. That was very interesting in that game. 0 sacks and hit Carr once. Defensive back Bashard Breeland twice flagged for pass interference. Did not look good. The defense was called for 10 penalties that cost 89 yards. Right tackle Mitchell Schwartz been dealing with a back injury. He's now on injured reserve. Wide receiver Brian Pringle is questionable with an ankle injury. And then we have offensive tackle Martinez Rankin has been practicing, but he's still on injury reserve. Talk to me about this Chiefs defense. Are they susceptible, or does it not matter because their offense is so strong?
Well, I mean, you've seen how many times this offense has bailed this defense out last year, this year, just by being able to put up points regardless. And it's more of a question of the Bucs defense. Can the Bucs defense slow down this Chiefs offense? And I don't think they can. I mean, it almost feels like the Bucs defense is getting worse as the season goes on. I just don't. I don't know how you bet the Bucs right now. They've played great in some spots. They've been horrendous in other spots, and frankly, here comes the chat to attack me right now, but Brady has been so inconsistent this year, and part of it's his age, part of it's a new system, but he's looked horrendous in primetime games. This isn't a primetime game, but it's a huge game. You're playing the defending Super Bowl champions, so I don't know. Is Brady going to get up this week and play great, or is he going to continue to struggle and have errant throws or underthrows? Like, this is, to me, this is a really difficult spot because I don't know what Bucs team is going to show up. And I mean, with all those weapons, he's got to be able to bounce back and carve up a weaker Chiefs defense. But I just don't know if I see it. I have to see him play consistently well, which I'm sorry, chat, we have not seen that from Tom Brady this year. He has not been a consistent quarterback this year, despite having all his weapons. So I really don't know where I land on this one.
Understandably so. And it's interesting that these Chiefs open up at just -3 and clearly,
I agree with what Al Cervic's saying here. I think they do have too much going on. They didn't need to bring in Brown. I feel like that complicated and already there's so many mouths to feed on that offense. So you bring in a head case who wants the ball all the time, but he's right now he's the 3rd best receiver on that team.
Bucs coming off a short week. Yet another disappointing primetime performance in a 27-24 home loss on Monday Night Football. Birdie's right. If you guys want the Buccaneers, sit back and wait. Make this bet 10 minutes before game time, man. Brady looked bad. 26-48, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I had that over 3.5 field goals, and I know I'd already missed a field goal, and it was at plus 120. And when Brady was driving, I was like, oh, they're going to get in the field goal range. That last interception was atrocious. I don't remember. The only time I saw Brady look that bad on the final drive was when he thought he had an extra down, when he threw that bomb late, and that made no sense. I couldn't believe that pass. It was one guy. There was 3 defenders. Then there was a 4th defender. Buccaneers failed to hit on deep passes. They did not have a completion over 18 yards. And I know that the Rams secondary is extremely good, but still, both of Brady's interceptions came on passes that were longer than 18 yards. Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette could do nothing on the ground, combined for 17 carries, 41 yards. I don't hate the Antonio Brown pickup. I think there's enough for Godwin and Evans has really sat back and said, look, I don't need big numbers this year, and he's going to be the red zone target. And Antonio Brown has a lot of talent. I don't hate on it, but I understand your thought process there.
It was necessary to bring in him, given his history, his recent history. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think he brings up their offensive firepower enough to justify bringing in a head case.
No, I completely legitimate. Of the Bucks' 7 wins this season, only 2 have come against teams with winning records. Cornerback Jamel Dean is in concussion protocol. Tight end Tanner Hudson, guard Ali Marpet, who's so important, and offensive tackle Donovan Smith are all questionable. Brady says Brady's not even close to completing a pass over 25 yards. Not even close. This has to be dink and dunk offense, but they don't have dink and dunk players.
He's absolutely right. Brady is spot on with that. And the other thing is Arians is not properly adjusting. Brady's been a dink and dunk quarterback for a while now. And, this is something I brought up in the offseason when he went there. I was like, you're going to go to Arians' offense. You're 43. Your arm is fading. It has been for a couple of years. And you're going to go to a team – everywhere Arians has been. Like when he was the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, it's always been about airing that ball out. And Arians is not adjusting to what Tom Brady can do right now. And that's hurting them offensively. Of course, as you mentioned, Marpet not playing is huge. But look, and somebody else, I'm not sure who mentioned this anymore, but it was Connor Mack. Connor Mack mentioned that if Brady's throwing 50 times, they can't win. And look, if this game just ends up being a shootout, Brady, quite frankly, just can't keep up with Patrick Mahomes. And I think that's what Andy Reid is going to force in this game. I think he's going to come out with a game plan, which is put this ball up and make them try and chase.
Any move for you at this point, Bebsie? And what do you think of this total up to 56?
I would say over if I thought that Tampa could match them. I feel like I'm talking myself into taking Kansas City here.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any threes available for you without paying for it too much. Let me just check right now. Here we go. If you want a 3, it's going to cost you minus 132. Fox Bet's already moved it to 4. Wow. 3.5 are minus 110.